Yo, 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 good people. Welcome to the Airman Show. Yo, 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 good people. It's your homie Airman. And you back upside the head with another hot banger boogie. Hey, look, go tell somebody to go tell somebody your homie Airman is on. Yes, we are live, man. I wanted to definitely holler at you guys today. And if you guys got any questions for me, any health concerns, we can talk about them today, man. This is going to be something that I definitely wanted to try to bring out to my people, man, and try to help y'all in real time. Again, like I said, man, go tell somebody your homie Herb Man is on, okay? This is a really critical time for us to get our minds right, our spirits right, our emotional life right. It's just a prime time for us to really get a hold to ourselves, who we are, who we want to be, man, and really start to implement that thing, man. And the time to do that is right now. We really just need to get a hold to how we want to proceed. I think we have an identity crisis, because we just so want to be so different and so individualistic that sometimes when we need to get up under that banner, that oneness to unite, it's very difficult to do that when everybody wants to be individuals. All right. So we need to press through. We need to press through, man. We need to start opening up businesses. We need to start educating ourselves on how to start businesses, how to register businesses, and how to implement business ideas. Okay, this is the time. The time is now. What's going on north of England? Glad you guys tuned in. Garden plants. How you guys doing, man? And I'm glad you are a part of the same industry, which is about helping, healing people, teaching people how to heal themselves. And a lot of us are stressed out over this money and how we're able to get funding for our everyday survival, and it's stressing us out and it's causing us multitudes of sickness, you guys. And we have to find an easier way to make a day's living. We at least got to make it easier on our physical bodies and on our socials and on our mental and on our spiritual. And the only way we're going to do that is we got to reach out toward each other. We can't keep allowing each other to feel like we're all here alone. Because when you're looking at these mass shootings and when you're looking at these different violent acts that are going on in our world, it's due to a lot of it being people are conjugating up these things, man, with nobody to talk to, with nobody who would understand them or nobody who would listen. Or you would think I'm crazy if I tell you I dreamed of killing 10 people. Well, you need to still be able to tell me. I still need you to be able to trust me enough to express that to me. And maybe I could be that stumbling block. Maybe I could be that speed bump. Maybe I could be that wall, that barrier to stopping you from doing things that are going on in your spirit. And so it's all about us being open enough for us to even start sharing our interest and our intentions to one another. And this herbs can only do so much, but from a mental standpoint, we need to get it all back. Like my homie right here said, Garden Plant say, we need to get back to the basics, you know, get back to the basics, man, of coming out here, smelling this good prana, which my homeboy say, I forgot his name, but he's on YouTube right here. And he always say, smell that good prana. And we just don't really know how effective deep breathing techniques really can be, not just from a physical standpoint, but from a mental, from an emotional, and a spiritual standpoint. It could really heighten our awareness to who we are from a physical standpoint, as well as getting back in tune and getting back in connection with who we are from a spiritual and emotional plane. Deep breathing is very good for more than just physical ramifications. Okay. And that's another thing about getting back to the basics. Okay. When we're talking about being out in the elements, sometimes this is just all is needed to relieve the stress. Long walks. Okay. Long walks. Going and get in that forest or going and getting in that mud or going out and getting in that garden or going and singing and going and dancing and just going to a different adventures that create that blood flow, right? All of these different things, man, are healthy for us from just not only a mental standpoint, but again, you guys, from an emotional, spiritual, and even a financial standpoint. A lot of the great thinkers is when they're out in nature, when things are quiet and when things slow down, that I can get the greatest idea. When I can get the greatest ideas and I can get the greatest of what I have to offer to the world. A lot of it happens in times of isolation and quiet times. And so therefore, it's necessary for us to have these things in our life. And so when we're on, this platform and we're allowing you guys to comment and we're allowing you guys to come into our lives, especially mine, as a herbalist, as a holistic healer, you know, there's a lot of different diseases and there's a lot of different things people want to tell you about their situation to make them more different than the next person. And that's okay. And I understand we all want to be treated on an individual personal basis. But it really all has the same underbelly for all of us. And that's stress, undue stress on the mind, the body, the spirit, and your emotions. And it's causing physical ramifications. And it's causing your vitality, all of our vitalities to come down. And so when you're in a disease state, then there is, the ancient people were correct. It wasn't just a demon, but it was also about you just being out of line with the dreams and your goals and where you actually are at. And when those things are not in par with another, that can cause dis-ease. You see what I'm saying? What you say, garden plants? There really was a period of history when we never used money. Imagine that. Exactly, bro. Exactly. You see what I'm trying to say? Because you didn't need, ask yourself, why do we need money? We need money because we done got lazy. And because you won't grow your own food, now you need to buy it from those that will. That's really why you need the money, right? Because if you had a garden and if I had a lake, we could easily barter and be able to still sustain, right? If you had a lake and I had a garden, I didn't need no money. I just need to bring vegetables to you, and you bring me fish, and therefore we both eat a full meal. So we didn't need money. We just needed the thing that created the life, which was the skill. The skill was the trade. That's why they say go get a trade. Go get a trade was to go get a skill. You see what I'm saying? And those skills were able to be exchanged for whatever you needed. Just like you said, yes, exchanges. That's it. We just used to exchange skill sets, baby. But now we don't have skill sets. Name a lot of people that really have skill sets. There's a lot of us that go to colleges and we get these diplomas and we really don't have any narrowed down objective of what we really want to do in the industry. Why? I know because I was one of them. I went to business admin at school, and one of the people say, "Well, what kind of business y'all gonna teach us to run?" They say, "We don't teach you. You got to come up with that one. We teach you the fundamental basis of business." But to give you a generic idea, to give you a general idea of what you want to do, you have to have had that. And a lot of us looked around like, okay, well, y'all not going to tell us how to run a particular business? No, we're going to tell you how to run business as, a conglomerate. But you got to figure out what it is you want to do. And so that's kind of where it's coming to when we're getting down to who we are as individuals. And we're asking ourselves, well, why am I this sick? Or why am I this confused? Or why am I going through these financial turmoil? It's not necessarily about your ability, okay? But it's about you really going on the inside to see what comes natural to you. What comes natural to you? If you and that's what you really got to get back to the basics, like my homie garden plant say right here. That's when you really got to get back to the basics to see what we really can do to be not just employees but employers. Okay, you feel a lot better when you dictate your own future. You feel a lot better. It's just like you'll feel a lot better when you get the keys to your own apartment. You'll feel a lot better when you get the keys to your own car. You'll feel a lot better when you get the keys to your own business. You'll feel a lot better when you get the keys to your own health. See, you'll feel a lot better when you unlock the keys to you and what you have to bring to this particular life. And sometimes it's just as simple as going back to the basics and doing some of the small things that we can do to emerge ourselves back with nature and to really get the best quality that we can give to this life experience. And quality means value, what kind of value that you're going to bring. And when you heighten that quality, you then simultaneously heighten that value. You see what I'm saying? And now when you're talking about what of value do I bring to this life experience, it's a lifetime of knowledge, it's a lifetime of ability that you're giving to someone else in their time of need, in their time of service, right? And when you're serving others that way, man, that is such a healthy recourse because now you're not being angry when you're at work. You're being blissful and you're being delightful and you're being loving and caring when you're at work. Why? Because you're providing a service out of the pure sheerness of your love for what it is you bring to the life experience. And these are the healing understandings that we have to do. This is the consciousness that has to come back over our people, right? And it doesn't matter what color you are. You could be dealing with some mental diseases. You could be dealing with some spiritual diseases, some emotional diseases, and some physical diseases all at once. All at once. And so when you come into my shop or when you come in and you call me for a consultation and you're trying to tell me about a knee pain or about a back pain or about a head ache or about a arm ache or something like that, and it still goes back to what is the root cause of your disease, not from a physical standpoint, but from a life standpoint. What is it that you're still trying to get that you haven't attained? What is it that's falling apart that you're trying to keep together? What are the disconnects? Why is your body in pain? Why is your life in pain? What are some of the signs and why are these signs here and what are they saying to us? And that's why the four element healing system is so crucial to us moving forward. It's an ancient system. I know you get tired of listening to it, but the thing is, you guys, is that man, when you place those planets inside those body systems, right? And as these things lay out from my natal chart from birth, and they're immovable, right? This is how the universe was when you first got here, right? And so that's the plate that you have. That's the plate that you got to work with. That's the hand that you got dealt. And then now with that information, you guys, man, we can really start to circumvent a lot of these issues. And when you're talking about the perfect preventative health tool, I was just talking to some ladies the other day on one of their posts on Facebook, and she was talking about how hard it is to really convince people that herbs work and herbs are effective and that the old ancient technology is still workable, right? And so I was listening to him and everything. I really didn't want to chime in because I really didn't know the people, but something hit me and I said, well, let me just speak this out into this particular feed. And basically what I said was this: we as herbalists, as people who know the ancient technology, we have to retool the way we want to educate our people about the effectiveness of herbs. Now listen to me. A lot of people, when they come to herbalists or when they come to holistic healers, they come on their last leg. So they come in the same format that they would come to doctors, okay? And what is happening is now you're pitting the herb versus the pill in the most crucial scenario in a person's health experience, right? And unfortunately, when the person is in that dire need for something to happen, you're probably better off going to the pill. And so herbs may not be as effective when you're dealing with that acute situation or when you're dealing with that situation you've been dealing with for forever and you've just been neglecting it. And now they done told you you're on your last leg and then you want to come and try to get the herbs. And when you're in that arena, when you're in that phase, herbs can't compete with pills. But where herbs can be number one, and where herbs are number one is in our preventative maintenance of our bodies. And if we start implementing herbs in our diets, whether it be dried herbs or whether it be fresh herbs like microgreens, right? And you start implementing those things within your diet, right? You won't need to have to worry about acute situations or any other situation. You don't have to worry about it, chronic or acute. So when you're looking at the perspective, like I told them, let's start changing the narrative and start teaching people about how herbs will win. And if we can start educating people who are healthy, then we don't have to necessarily try to educate you when you're sick. If we try to target the healthy, the people who don't think they need nothing, the people who feel like they're young and they're youthful, these are the people that really need herbal supplements. It's the healthy, not the sick. Because the earlier you learn this and the earlier you start to implement nature back into your life, and the earlier you start taking these natural regimens and placing them into your sedentary lifestyle, into this modern lifestyle, right? You still need to hold on to some ancient things and herbs and the trees and all of this, you guys. It's got to be one of them we got to keep in our back pockets. We got to keep this in our back pockets, man. And so that's what we want to talk about. What you say? We had our history stolen from us. We do know some things. Yes, sir, we know it. Um, I enjoy learning about trees. Fascinating. Yes, sir. Cherry tree almost in bloom. Yeah, man, because those types of things are going to keep us alive. They're going to keep us going. Okay. Those are your ancestors behind you, right? They was here before all of us was. The trees were here first, right? And we feed off of each other. What we have, they desire, and vice versa. Okay. And so why not think that you have to depend on them when you already do? Why not think that? And why not go ahead and start to teach our children about those things? You see what I'm saying? And about how effective those things are for our health and for us financially. Now, when you're talking about financially, now you're getting all off into the agriculture and you're getting all off into this whole health trend and how people are starting to understand that we're all suffering from malnutrition, whether you're rich or whether you're poor, because malnutrition is not about being undersized. It's about being undervalued in your food that you're buying from this mass produced food. So it doesn't matter if you're rich or poor. If you're having to go to the grocery store to get your food, you're still in the same rat race as the rest of us looking for nutrients, trying to find nutrients, man. You know what I mean? We say I've collected the sap off the cherry tree, good for copper, don't know how to use it yet though. Yeah, man. I mean, all kinds of stuff like that is going to be good for you. And the best thing you could do is just test it all out. You know, see what the bark does, see what the roots do, see what the leaves do, right? See what all of that stuff do. See what the gum, the resin, or the sap, as you may call it. See what all that stuff does. It all has different healing modalities. Okay, and that's what we're talking about when we talk about whole plant food. You know, when we're talking about that whole plant food, that's why, again, herbs are going to be very crucial for the healthy because they're whole plants. You're talking about the microgreens. You're eating a whole plant. You're eating the nutrition value of the whole plant, even in its baby stages. It's got all of the nutrition value that it needs to grow up and be a strong, big plant. And that, having all of that in there is, man, is giving you so much action packed nutrition that it ain't even funny. And so that's why at Herb Man Inc., we don't just sell dried herbs, man, but we want to also give our customers the ability to get those microgreens as well. When they come in and they can see some dried herbs and they can see some live foods. And live foods will give you life. It's just the point blank bottom line. Well, I've got garlic shoots arriving. Yeah, garlic shoots is good, man. You know, all that type of stuff is gonna be good. The garlic shoots, the pea shoots, um, the amaranth, the broccoli, the red cabbage. You know, when you're eating that red cabbage in that microgreen stage, man, it really gives you more vitamin C than anything can give you. Than anything can give you red cabbage. So a lot of that type of education is really necessary in our kitchens and in our homes. You know, it's not just all about business, but it's more or less about health. And again, like I said, business should be very easy. It should be a natural element to you. Business should be a natural element to you, meaning that whatever you go in business for, it should be a natural element to the things that you can do. You should not have to stretch too far, stretch yourself out too far to go into business for something. It should be naturally something that you're gifted or talented in. And some of our women are very gifted in the kitchen, but only if they could just understand how to really truly cook from a nutritional way, we could be good to go. And you start opening up restaurants with this agricultural fundamental foundation to it, that now when you start making restaurant food more healthier than people cooking in the kitchen, you might be on to something. You might be on to something. You see what I'm saying? And that's the kind of mindset that we gotta have, man. But anyway, man, if you guys are coming into the room, please hit that like button, share the video. If you got any concerns, any issues physically that you want to talk about, now is the time to ask your homie Herb Man about whatever it is that you got going on, and we'll try to help out as best as we can. Okay. So if you guys are in the building, go tell somebody to go tell somebody. Again, hit that like button, hit that share button. You can always follow us, man. We got a podcast out. We got all these elements that we're just trying to do to make sure people really get the grasp of what's going on. I was just talking to a lady the other day, and I was telling her, about being an African American holistic healer, and how strange that sounds, because most of us are running to the Ayurvedic community or the traditional Chinese medicine, and we're running to places over in Europe and places like that for people to do, spiritual healing and Reiki. And it's like, why not understand that it's here? It's here. And irregardless of how they don't want us to profess it, irregardless of how they don't, want us to be able to say you can be cured or healed, irregardless to what they want, you guys, there are still people being created in these pockets of life for us to be able to indulge in and find the secrets to what we want. And so, what I want to promote here on Herb Man Inc. moving forward and forevermore is showing you how through nature you can get vitality and longevity. So it's not just good just to be have that vigor, but I want us to pass that precipice of 75 years and get on up into those 120s. We should naturally be living to at least 120 years on this plane. On this plane right now, we should naturally be able to live up to 120 years old, man. And so those are the types of things that we got to move forward to doing, and we got to understand how to do them, how to make that happen. How can we live up to 120 years? And it's possible. It's possible, and it's all in the food. It's all in how you take care of your body from a physical standpoint, and then it's all in how you take care of your body from a food standpoint. Those two ways are the greatest tools that you could ever know about yourself. That I need some physical activity, and it's more of a blessing to be able to exert your physical activity in getting the substance that you need for life, right? That's the glory in working, because you're out there, you're tilling the ground, you're hunting for your food, you're in the forest, you're in the rainforest, you're out here, you're trying to get your food. That is the best way to exude energy, and that's where the blessing comes in there when you catch that food. And that's why you pray, because that there's a synergy, there's a magic that has to happen in that format. Everybody can't catch a deer going by with a spear, or even with a gun, for that fact, right? So there's a synastry that goes in it, there's an artistry that goes in it, there's a chemistry that's there, that lends itself to the prey and to the one who needs the food, right? So that's what you got to understand, that nature lends itself to. It's just the natural evolution, it's the natural element. And the more we put ourselves back into that element, right, the more we get fed in the spiritual realm, in the emotional realm, in the physical realm, and definitely in the mental realm, man. So go tell somebody your homie Herb Man is on, man. You said also planning on getting some nettle. Yeah, nettle is very good, man. Nettle is one of those herbs that you can consistently have and add to your regimen. It'll definitely give some. It'll definitely give some nutritional value. uh, Nettle will also help out with a lot of various issues going on, especially when you're talking about like liver and skin issues and and all that type of stuff. Nettles is one of those herbs that you just want to warm up to. You know what I mean? You want to just have that for pretty much all kinds of stuff, man. But primarily, nettles is super effective for like dandruff. You know, like if you're having real bad mucus coming out your scalp, which is that real bad dandruff, nettles is real good for that. You could kind of, soak your hair in it. You can do it before you do shampoos or after, and just put it in your hair. It's very good for if you're having heavy menstrual cycle, heavy menstrual bleeding. Nettles is very good for that. And also nettles is also been good for the prostate enlargement, right? So if you're like really dealing with an enlarged prostate, if you can do some nettles with some saw palmetto or a little mix like that, whoo, it'll really be good, man. It'll really be good. And anything really dealing with the prostate, I mean, is also super effective for prostatitis. So if you're having any inflammation in the prostate, especially older guys when they get up, they really want to try to nourish and really protect that prostate. Then that nettles is going to be very good for that. Now it also has a good effectiveness for asthma. If you got real brittle nails or something like that, get you some nettles because again, it's just like alfalfa. It gives packed with nutrients that are really going to come in and help strengthen the bones and the nails and the hair and all that type of stuff. Is good for the urinary tract. It's good for gout, anemia. It's good for asthma. I mean, it's just a slew of things that nettles is good for, and that's why I always say, you want some nettles in your medicinal cabinet for sure, man. For sure, it's one of those gotta have herbs. You know what I mean? Um, just like a lot of the other herbs. And that's why I was trying to say we have to really be gearing this toward the youth and really get them to understand the value in the herbal community. And even from a aspect of agriculture of growing these herbs, you guys, growing these herbs. When I tell you that we need herbs and that if I tell you that herbs are effective, then it also means that there's going to be a demand, that there's a need, okay? And it's just like medicine. There's a demand for herbs. So when we conserve and when we grow and when we learn how to do those types of things, man, we could also be effective in the business sector by conserving and by growing and by incubating some of these good herbs that you're going to need to survive off of from a holistic standpoint or from a disease standpoint, right? You're going to need that. What you say now? Apparently, if you have arthritis, you whip yourself with nettle, and it gets rid of it. That's some ancient practices that'll whip you with it. I'm more prone to the uh, the devil's claw or something like that when dealing with arthritis and stuff like that. But yeah, some countries when you go to them, they will uh, hit you with those nettle leaves, especially if they know that you're dealing with that. But again, because nettles is for strengthening the bones and stuff like that, that that is going to be very, very beneficial for anything like that. Now, arthritis is more of a joint thing, but people can have bone pain and stuff like that. But for more specifically for arthritis, again, you want to nourish those bones, man. So then you're going to go back to alfalfa. Alfalfa is one of the best herbs that you can really nourish the joints and everything with arthritis. Now, when you're talking about pain, obviously it's going to be frankincense or what they call boswellia. That's going to be good. White willow bark, and then that's when you're looking at the devil's claw as well. That can help with that. You can do a wintergreen essential oils, or you can go and get the wintergreen herb itself and make that into your concoction. You can make poultices with it, meaning that you can put you a rag or something in there, soak it in there, and then put it on the places where the arthritis is at, and that may bring some kind of relief as well. But what you really want to do when you're dealing with arthritis, man, is again, it's about the mucus and it's about how much or how less you have in those joints, and then you have to try to work with that so that that body could really even out what you need and to bring some kind of homeostasis back in that area. You know what I mean? Our bodies are very good and they will compensate. They will compensate, man, and they'll rob Peter to pay Paul, but it'll still keep you in an even keel. But it's just over time, as you continue to keep robbing Peter, then obviously there's going to be some scenarios. And for the most part, when our bodies overcompensate, is really take vitamin C out. And if it take vitamin C out, normally it probably takes some D, it's probably taking some iron and some zinc. And so that's why those are always depleted in us. And that's why osteoporosis and bone issues always start to come behind that very, very soon. You see what I'm saying? So again, person who's dealing with bone issues, that's more of your earth, okay, the earth element. So grounding yourself, eating the right foods that will get you back into that vitamin and nutrient efficiency instead of deficiency, right? Get you back efficient, right? So that's why that when you're looking at alfalfa, who eats alfalfa? The horses. And how big and how strong and how fast are they? Right? So when you're looking at some of these herbs and you look at some of the animals that eat them, you can see what they can do for you. Okay, especially from a bone or muscle standpoint, you can kind of see what you can do with that. A goat willow tree and a rowan tree grew in my garden. Never planted them and a belladonna deadly night. Yes, sir. That belladonna. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Belladonna is a good one, man. You have to kind of be careful with that bella. But for that fact, you want to be careful with all nightshades. But no, no, those are some good things. And so again, you're growing things in your yard, man. Some of us don't have a yard, and that's why microgreens are going to be very good because then you can grow things in your basement. You can grow them in your closet. All you need is a grow light and a little some little water, man, and some growing medium. You can make it happen for yourself. And again, what I'm trying to tell you guys is you could make these changes just for your family. You don't have to necessarily go into business. I talk about business from a standpoint that you cook every day. You cook every day. You certain stuff you do with your eyes closed. We can do those things as well for business. That's all I was saying with that. Stand in your natural element of who you are and what you do, and really what you bring to the table, right? But this is just another aspect of being able to add on to that which you already know. And microgreens could be a very beneficial addition to the kitchen plate, not just to the business mind, but to the kitchen plate. And then we can just keep it there first. Then business and all those aspirations can come out of it and grow. Hey, that's on you. But for me, I want to put it on your plate. And that's how I kind of like when people come into the shop, right? You got some people that don't know anything about herbs that come into the shop, and you got some people that know a lot about herbs that come into the shop, right? It doesn't matter at which education spectrum you are when it comes to herbs, right? All I care about is putting the herbs in your hand and you utilizing herbs. That's all that I'm trying to get out here is for us to feel and taste and see nature and its potency and what it actually can bring to the table for us. We need to stop being, not trying to notice that we have to kill animals to eat them, or that we're ignoring the plant life. Let's stop ignoring. Let's really focus on what it is that we're doing in the natural element and see what we can do to make that relationship better. And so that's what Herb Man Inc. is about. And hopefully that's what this channel is about, you guys. And again, if you got anything that you want to talk about, I'm here. I'm here for you. I'm at your I don't know how many more times I'm gonna be able to do it, but I'm gonna try to come on here live and try to help you guys if you got questions, if you got concerns, or if you just want to listen to a brother ramble about herbs, then that's cool with me. If you want to listen to me ramble about life and its objectives and how we can get and reach to those things, then that's cool, man. Because what you're seeing when you're looking at me, you guys, you're seeing a reformed brother. It's a reason why I call myself Herb Man, so you already could understand probably what I was doing in my before now. Okay, so I'm a reformed brother. Okay, all from the whole thing. I've been to the penitentiary. I've been all the way through that system. I also been to the military. I also been to college. Okay, so I've been to church. I've been to all of the institutions that they could get for you to learn. Okay, and one thing I realized, right, is that no matter how much we go through those things, we still don't know what we really need to know. We still don't get what we really need to get. And once you graduate from those institutions, or once they release you back out into the free world from those institutions, they expect for you to have it all down packed. And unfortunately, we don't we don't know the half of what we need. We don't know the social expectations. We don't understand the social expectations. We don't feel that the social expectations are fair to a lot of us. And so we don't know how to get that footing. Again, it's the first inklings of stress. The first inklings of stress is when my mind says I want to be here, but none of the other three factors, my emotions, my spirit, nor my physical body, can get me to where my mind is telling me I'm supposed to be. That is the firstling of dis-ease. That is the firstlings of when there is a break or a disconnect in the body. My mind dreams of me being here, but I can't physically seem to get it right to get there. Spiritually, can't seem to get the unctions or make the right decisions. Emotionally, can't seem to handle the situation enough to get there. And so you're starting to find that break. We have to realign back up where your mind is at. Can you physically get there? Can you physically learn the amount of knowledge that's necessary for you to get to where your mind says you should be? Now, spiritually, do you have enough faith and enough fortitude and enough energy, right? Stored up in that spirit, enough faith to believe that you can get to that point. And then emotionally, can you handle it with attitude? How is your attitude? I ran into a lot of people that want to be successful but didn't have a successful attitude. I ran into a lot of people that wanted to be rich but didn't have a rich attitude. And you say, well, what's the attitude of a rich person? You can tell. You can just tell. And it's got to, because you can't have an attitude like certain people and be in front of people or lead in a particular way that people are going to follow you. For you to be rich, we all need somebody else. There's nobody out here that's rich by themselves. They had to have a consumer to consume their idea. So we all need somebody else, right? And so this is that understanding, this is that umbrella that we really need to stay up under and really get some more consciousness about so that we can really circumvent how are our children going to get sick? That should be the first question. What is it in our future that will plague our children? What is it in our environment that may be detrimental to our children's health? It's going to be stress. It's going to be stress and their inability or ability to figure this thing out. And the faster they can figure it out, the less stress they're going to have on their life. The later on they can figure out, the more stress they're going to have on their life, right? And then you're going to keep making, decisions in a stressful situation that always got to be about, you always got to make decisions with your back against the wall. You can never really properly plan, never really properly, put together this format that could really get you to be champion the way that you want to be. That's where disease start to come in. That's where liver issues start to come in because you're angry. That's where kidneys issues start to come in because they keep you in total fear. That's when lung issues start to come in. That's when cancers start to develop. That's when diabetes start to take place. And some of us that don't have these things that we're born with or hereditary, this is how we are accumulating these things. The stress of trying to figure out how to align ourselves up with that which is in our dreams. And so hopefully we can do that. And hopefully on this channel, you guys could get that help. But I want you to know you can share, you can like, you can tell everybody about these videos, man. That again, there are African American, holistic, healing people out here that the universe is birthing to come in and to help us navigate us through the element of nature. And if you can trust and believe in nature, then you can help yourself heal yourself. All right. So, hey, man, I didn't want to make this video long. Go tell somebody to go tell somebody. If you guys don't have any other comments, any other concerns that your boy home Erdman can help you out with, I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Again, go tell somebody, go tell somebody. I love you guys. There's absolutely nothing you can do about it. And until next time, love Erdman. Yes, sir.